It's day 12. Nightcrawler tried to convince me to hike out of here in the dark with him this morning, but I'm not falling for that again, pal. No, actually, it's nice. We're not here in the forest. Got a climb ahead of us, but I wanted to do it in the morning. We made it only about 20 miles yesterday. We didn't make it to the forest road I was thinking we would make it to. It was just really hot, and we were both really tired. We didn't get our nap in since we left at I don't know. We got up at I just know I got up at 3:20, and I don't ever do that. So I definitely needed a nap. We both knocked out last night before 6:30. So, yeah, I opted to not do that again. I'm not a night hiker. I don't like night hiking. That's his jam, and I'm totally down with him doing his thing. I want him to do his thing, but that's not my thing. So I'm gonna do my thing. It's about maybe 6 o'clock, a little before 6 o'clock, and I can take care of my feet, pack up, try and eat a bunch of food before going up this one steep climb before we drop down to the river later this morning. I can't wait. Yay! Whew, well, that took a little longer than I thought it did. It's about 20 after 7, and I'm finally moving. Good grief, I had to do some foot stuff. I had 2 big blisters on my right toes, one on my pinky that apparently blew out at some point, and then one on my second toe, which is still full, but less full than it was yesterday. If you sleep with it elevated, usually they'll drain back into you, but it was so full, I would have had to stay with it elevated forever. At any rate, I taped up the pinky again, and this is a good time to do this climb because it's not in the sun anymore. But let's see how long it takes to catch up to Crawler. Oof. So I think I'm mostly done with the climb. It was definitely, especially the very first part, very steep. Whew, pretty bushwhacky. Definitely glad I didn't do it in the dark. There was a little tiny spring. It looked just kind of like a rock hole with green water in it. But I imagine that was probably the spring that Doug the Hermit was telling people about. It wasn't really flowing that you could tell. I didn't really stop and look though because I was still climbing. And if possible, when I'm climbing, I try to not stop until I get to the top. Just keep moving so I don't lose momentum. I did get past about halfway up the super steep part by a dude named Stone, who I guess he said he hiked the GET before coming out here, and which is awesome. I totally want to do that trail. There's actually a looper on the southwest that a guy named Dirtmonger came up with called the Vagabond Loop, and I believe the Grand Enchantment is incorporated into it. I think that'd be pretty awesome. Sort of a grand tour of the Southwest. At any rate, should be getting to the point where the Columbus Gila alternate, for those people who start at Columbus or Deming meet up with us, that should be coming in from the right. I think that's also the last place with cell service. I was going to stop there and upload a movie, but there's Wi-Fi at Doc Campbell's, and we'll be there tomorrow morning. So I'm just going to wait so I can make up some time on Nightcrawler, since once again, got a little bit later start than I had hoped. And we can make our way down to the river. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait. Oh my goodness. It's going to feel so good because I think it's going to be another hot day. Glad I got that climb out of the way. Mostly out of the sun. Yay! This is basically some of the last views I'll get until after the alternate. Pretty soon we'll be dropping down on the other side of those mountains. I think there's a forest road over there somewhere, and a hose, which is what I'm aiming for, to go get some more water. And I did check in briefly to make sure that nothing. Oh shit! I gotta call Raggedy Crow or text him. It's his birthday today. He is actually my first husband. He's awesome. He's a child cancer advocate, and you know, he spends virtually all of his time, his free time when he's not working, doing long distance hiking and endurance running, basically trying to raise awareness and advocacy for childhood cancer, because from what I understand, childhood cancer research funds only get 4% of the entire total of money allocated towards cancer research, which is crazy. So even though he doesn't have any young kids, he advocates for them. He's made that his life's passion and work, and kudos to him. So you can find him on Facebook. If you just type in Raggedy Crow, he'll probably pop right up. His name is Everett Smith. Today is his birthday. It's day 12 for me. It's May 16th. Happy birthday, fool. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'm gonna give you a text right now. Cousin or sister or whatever flat back and slap me right underneath the eye. I'm not wearing my sunglasses right now, so thank goodness it didn't get me in the eye, because I think there's a little tiny sticker or thorn now lodged into my face. I tried to see it on the camera, like, you know, flipped around, but yeah, I don't see it. I'll have to have Nightcrawler look later, and I'm sure he'd be more than happy to. This stuff. Suck it. Dig it out. Find it and dig it out of my face. Good grief. This part is definitely a little more bushwhacky than some of the others. But, oh well. Sometimes you're going to have these things. So I just met a guy named Carl, or Bojangles, an older gentleman. First through hike ever. Not quite with trail legs yet. Mildly, a little bit out of shape. Look at that view. Just gorgeous out there. At any rate, I found him sitting on a rock catching his breath in the middle of a climb. It's his first time really doing a long hike. And, oh, that's weird. What the hell? Where that goes to? What is that for? It's just there. Weird. At any rate, you know, I stopped to talk to him for a minute, but not too long, because one of the worst things you can do on any hike is, first of all, stop in an uphill. If you're out of breath, so out of breath that you have to stop, you're charging the hill, you're going too fast. And the best thing to do is to either slow your pace or your stride, or both, to the point where you can continue moving. Even if you're moving at a snail's pace, I don't care. Don't stop until you get to the top, because otherwise you just lose momentum. And for goodness sake, stay out of the sun. Talk as little as possible. I'm about to go up, so one last view. All right, well, looks like the climbing portion is over. Thank goodness, because it was definitely super steep in some areas. Very bushwhacky, which is a pain, because I have my, oh, you can't really see it, I don't know how to show you. So my Sawyer, my platypus bladder hose hanging down on the side, and so it gets stuck on stuff. And I've actually like been going so fast, and I got stuck on something, and it actually like pulled it right out of the pack, or the nozzle, like the bite tip, would come off which ain't good because now I'm like, gotta find that. I'm losing water. That's not good. So getting through this section, and everything's intact except for the possible thorn in my face. Got the climb done mostly out of the sun, which is awesome. And it's a little more than a mile, maybe 1.3, 1.2 to a forest road crossing where I understand there is a hose. So I texted Raggedy Crow, who's, you know, it's awesome. I feel so lucky that he remains one of my closest friends and biggest supporters. And we've always had each other's backs for all these years, whether we were married or not, which is, I guess, unusual, but that's just the way it is. And so I'm happy that I at least got enough service today to shoot him a happy birthday text message. And other than that, I don't have anything really vital I need to do. I imagine Nightcrawler probably sat there because it's supposedly the last service. And somebody had written that there was a little bit of AT&T service there, so I'm sure he stopped to check it out. So hopefully this gives me a little more gain on him. Once I'm walking, I generally don't stop walking when I'm by myself, unless it's for water, or to end the day. I tend to schedule my breaks around water. Other than that, these ULA packs have such huge hip belt pockets. I usually just walk and snack as long as it's flat or downhill. It's almost impossible to eat while you're going uphill. So I'm definitely gonna pop out some gummy bears to eat right now that I wish I had eaten before I started that climb. Anyway, next stop is water in about a mile, and I'll take a little break there. Hopefully not break my ankle going down this hill. Oof. Looks like this is my stop. Somewhere around here. Ah, I see it. A hose. So, pro tip, you should definitely be doing this trail with a gut hook, but also if you want to make the most of your gut hook app experience, definitely read wherever there's a waypoint, click in on it and see what it says, because this is definitely a water source. You can hear it. You can hear water. But it's actually not listed as a water source at this point on Gut Hook, and neither were a few of the last ones. So, just check all the comments on all the waypoints, or check the comments on all the waypoints, because you'll frequently find that there are things that are good to know about the trail that aren't immediately evident. So I'm gonna stop here and get some water for a minute, and then head on down to the river. I see a camper down there. I don't know who's in that. Oh, corral. It's an interesting little area right here. This is a forest road crossing. So I'm gonna get back here for a while, get some water, put my feet up for a second, and continue on. So it's about 9:30, and I've got my second coffee. Yay! And I picked up water from the tank over there. Actually, people have been talking about the hose, which is down at the base of the tank, but I got lucky, and the trough is actually filling up right now, so I didn't have to mess with the hose because the spigot's actually turned upwards, so more like a fountain than a faucet. So luckily I didn't have to dig around with that. I was able to just get my water out of the pipe on the side, wash my hands a little bit. It's a nice shady spot. There aren't any cows here now. So great place to chill out for about 15 minutes and drink second coffee. I ate Pop-Tarts on the way over here because it was a downhill. And then I think it's maybe 6 more miles to the river, so that'll be my next spot. Hopefully I catch up with Nightcrawler by or before then, probably at the river. He got a good, decent head start on me this morning, so, but he likes to take a lot of breaks. I don't really take that many. So this kind of works out. We each get to do our own things in the morning, and then, you know, we meet up at some point during the day, find a place to throw down at night. It's actually been working out really well. I'm stoked to be out there. It is a beautiful day, and this is some nice ass forest. So I'm gonna sit here and drink this coffee. I'll catch y'all later. So there's a trail junction here that's not marked on Good Hook, and the last sign showed which way to go to the Gila River, which obviously is where I'm going. This sign doesn't have that anymore. So hopefully it looks like the majority of the footprints, including Nightcrawler's aggressive tread, are all going this way. There's a cairn. So hopefully this is the correct way. What? Woohoo! 2 miles. Not too bad. It's only like 10 after 11. Those miles went a lot faster than, oh, that's beautiful. A lot faster than I expected they would. Although it sure does help to walk on a road. You don't have to negotiate, typically anyway, you don't have to negotiate terrain quite as ankle breaky, fall and smash my head in as this. And, you know, also, you know, this is how I lose toenails. I kick these things all over the place. Although since I switched to the Ultras, the zero drop shoes, I have kicked about 1,000% fewer rocks. So that's nice. But anyway, 2 more miles. Cannot wait. I'm so excited. Woo! Well, the terrain's finally chilled out a little bit. I've almost slipped and fallen like, oh my God, a dozen times at least. But look at this view. So gorgeous. I don't know how far, oh, actually I can see a river right there. What? Hell yeah, getting so close. And it's still beautiful. I just love the red rocks up here. And this is some just gorgeous territory. Wow. I'm gonna be all down in that. Oh, look at all those birds. I'm so excited. Yay, I made it. I got here about 1:15 and found Nightcrawler sleeping under this tree like a homeless person. So, you know, pretty much par for the course. Yay, but we're on the river now. It's nice and cool down here. It's a nice breeze. It's awesome. You eat a bunch of food. Hang out. Maybe take a nap. Hit the river. You still have this little bit of blister here. This one was huge though. I mean, it was like my toe had a conjoined twin attached to it. So because I thought it would be uncomfortable in water shoes, I got some water shoes like his to wear in the river, because I don't care to wear my brand new shoes up the river for 50 miles or whatever and then have to throw them away. I just put them on. So we got some $10 water shoes at Walmart to hopefully save the more expensive gear and also be a little more comfortable having dry shoes and shoes just to go in the water. But I just poke a hole in this to like let the fluid out, and it was like fucking Bellagio just now. It was a pretty impressive gusher.
It was disgusting.
It was disgusting. But you know, it's clear, it's all good. It's all good. So I'll just put a little tape on it. Hopefully it'll be all right. We'll check them out later. I'm not sure if this is still Saltillo Creek, but it's a lot cleaner and prettier. It's super pretty. So I picked up water here before the Gila, since the Gila is definitely a dirtier bitch of a river. What a beautiful day to be doing this. It's hot out. The river is cold. It already feels great on my feet. Yay! 2 crossings in and we're going the wrong way. I'm following the guy who's already done this. Jesus fucking Christ. Thank goodness for Gut Hook. And also, yeah, like when you're doing the Gila River alternate, you're supposed to be walking up the river. So there is a trail here. It's just not our trail. So as it turns out, those first two, well now 3, about to be 4, crossings were just a dry run. The trail that we're supposed to take actually continues up the side of the river that we approached it from for a little over a quarter mile. Oh my goodness. It's the last time. If you want to make sure you're going the right way, be careful who you follow. So we're in the water a lot, but not like it was when I walked through the swamps on the Florida Trail. I caught a lot of stuff in my shoes then, but I was pretty much always in water, so your feet are always wet. Feet are never gonna dry while you're on this section. But, I just saw a big fish jump, or a toad, or I don't know what it was. At any rate, trying to keep your feet from getting completely destroyed. You want to keep them as clean as you can because you can't keep them dry. I definitely have a bunch of stuff in my sock. And the parts in between the water are the hardest because that's when I collect everything pretty much. So after this next crossing, it's like 7/10 of a mile until the one after that. So I'm going to stop in the water and completely rinse out my shoes and my socks so that hopefully I can start that 7/10 of a mile with as clean of feet as possible, because otherwise your feet will start to dry a little bit in that time. It's a good 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and yeah, that's when you can start doing some damage. So, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful here. I'll go in here. We're on this valley on the other side of the river for almost a mile. So this looks like a wonderful place to stop and clean everything out. Eeh. This is so beautiful. This is really fun. Okay, so I crossed the river where you're supposed to. Nightcrawler was gonna catch up with me. He was putting on some socks on a log. And I saw him come out of the woods and I didn't see him again. So when I got up, I saw him crossing somewhere up here. So I whistled at him and he waved at me. Now, I'm on the trail and I have no idea where he went. He just fucking wandered off again. Frustrating. Whatever. I'm just gonna keep walking on the trail and figure it out. He always gets there eventually. And I've already gone off trail once. Every time you go off trail, you start collecting shit, even more shit in your shoes. This is just like fine sand. It's coming in no matter what. So my feet will be caked with mud by the next time I cross. But hopefully, with a nice mud mask, they'll just look so much more beautiful. Because isn't that what mud is supposed to do? Adventures and hiking.